I'd like to welcome everyone to a special holiday, Christmas, whatever your religion is, Hanukkah show with the one and only. I gotta talk this guy up. Great friend of mine. He's got two very different careers. By day, he's known as criminal defense attorney Terry McInerney. By night, he's known as Rhode Island's own Italian rapper Bobby Braciola. He started in 1989. Some of the songs he's recorded: I'm a Spacone, Everyone's Italian on Christmas Eve, Chooch the Gooch, the 10 Steps of Disco Dancin, with well over 220,000 views on YouTube. He performed a song on Judge Caprio's show last year. We'll talk about that. Court in Providence. It went viral with over 4 million views. Unbelievable. He worked as a DJ for 17 years and toured in the early 90s. Met stars like Will Smith, Elton John, LL Cool J. He was in 5 movies, Federal Hill, Tax Day. This guy's been around. He started with the Comedy Factory. We got him on board, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. He's doing shows with us. And
proud to be part of it, too.
Yeah, the audience always loved him. They always loved him. The comedians, phenomenal job. My friend Rocker Joe Hebert said, you smoked it. One of the shows he was at with you. Bobby Braciola is in the house. Bobby, what's up, brother?
John, your introductions are so humbling, and I really appreciate it, man.
Not everybody gets an intro like Bobby Braciola. I'll tell you right now.
Well, I want you to know how much I appreciate that, and it really warms my heart. I love you so much, John.
Yeah, I love working. We had a ball. New Year's Eve, the Spiritos, and other shows we had, and we had a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to get back to it, Yeah.
John, one thing about you and I, no one will ever out-try us on stage. So even on our bad nights, we're able to kind of recover. You and I mean, we have different routines, different acts, but we have the same reaction from the crowd because we know who our people are and we play to our people and we get the love back from them. And, working with you, John, on so many occasions, I mean, we brought so much energy to the room with, you ripping people and me busting rhymes, and then Joe Hebert doing his crazy songs and
we had some awesome shows. Awesome shows we had. I absolutely love working with you. Unfortunately Spiritos closed, but I remember Greg, one of the owners, and he loved you. They loved you. You do such a great job. Now you got your song released.
You helped so many people's career.
What's that?
I said you helped so many people that I know. You've helped them with their careers, and you've always taken shots with people. I see Rhonda Corey starting to blow up. I mean, Skip is amazing. I mean, I just love his whole shtick, and
I love helping. Really I love helping Com. What happened to me, Bobby? I started in '83, and I got up 3 times. I did really well, and I bombed twice, and nobody took me under their wing, and I quit. 8 years went by. I came back in '91, and when I started and I got going, I started doing pretty good. Started running open mics. What's that?
You quit for how long?
8 years. I only got up 3 times. I came back in '91, and then what I did when I came back, I said, you know what? Nobody really helped me, so I'm going to help comics get stage time, and that's what I kind of dedicated. Really, my 29-year career, a lot of it was getting comic stage time, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it, And some of them I seen do fine. I used to book Bob Marley, comedian from Maine, and Bill Burr, and tons of guys, and they've done really unbelievable.
Bill Burr, oh my goodness, he's blown up in the last. I love Bill Burr.
He was on Saturday Night Live. Phenomenal. So Terry, we're gonna talk about your song every year. Tell me when it's released, and tell us about the song around the holidays it comes out.
Well, I mean, I had court today, and which I haven't been going to court. I've been doing as much remote WebEx, Zoom meetings with judges, the parole board. So, but today I actually had to go to court. I had 2 people with warrants. Court closes Friday the 18th for the winter break. And then there's only emergency matters in between. So I really wanted to get these things done before the Christmas break on Friday. So I went in today and wore a red tie, and I was like, you know what? I'll keep the red tie for my interview with Johnny tonight.
Yeah, looks good.
Thank you. I mean, Christmas is a special time for everybody. I mean, especially Italians, because I mean, at the holidays we make it a 1-2 punch, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and that's kind of why I wrote Everyone's Italian on Christmas Eve. I wrote it in '89. We released it in '89 and re-released it in '90, which is the Christmas that it really kind of hit, because then they played it in New York, they played it in Philly, played it in Chicago that year. The first year was pretty much just Rhode Island and Kiss 108 in Boston, Jam in 94.5 in Boston, Pro FM. Didn't pick it up the first year. That Kiss just Hot 106 played it, but it's it blew up pretty well. Then the next year it came out, Pro FM picked it up, WBLS in New York picked it up, and then really started to blow up as a Christmas song. And it's been going on now. This is 31 years. This is the 31st Christmas, and my record company, I'm with Sony Music, The Orchard, and the Sony, they pretty much do their own promotions. They drop it right after the Monday after Thanksgiving every year.
Wow.
And so that's always an exciting time, because you start to see who's going to track the song. And I got a big boost in the arm from last year. It's actually 1 year ago today, December 16th, 2019. My assistant had a ticket to a speeding ticket, had to go in municipal court in Providence, and we knew that Judge Caprio sits there, and it was his court date was December 23rd. So we figured, 2 days before Christmas, he'll get a free lawyer, and I'll go there and do the Christmas songs. So we approached a couple of the people with the show, and I love Uncle Frank. He's great. And they got back to me, but he was not going to be sitting on the 23rd. His last day was going to be the 16th. So they moved my assistant's hearing to the 16th so I could go as his attorney and then go and do Everyone's Italian on Christmas Eve in the courtroom, which was, totally unplanned to the audience, but the judge knew, and Rich and all his assistants, those guys, they all knew about it. It was great. I did the song, and the show went off without a hitch. It had a lot of love between Judge Caprio and I, and the show got thousands and thousands of views, but that didn't come out till like the 23rd. It was shot on the 16th. On the 16th, in the audience was someone, unbeknownst to me, shooting a video of me rapping. And I guess he's dialed in with a couple of big time rappers. So he tweeted to them. I guess he had like 100-mile-an-hour speeding ticket. So he thought he thought he was going. So he had a picture of me rapping with my red tie, and I'm doing Everyone's Italian on Christmas Eve. And he tweets out, "This lawyer's rapping, and I'm going to jail." He tweets it out. The next day, I get a call from my son, who's on his last week of school before Christmas. He's like, "Dad, you're trending on Twitter." I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, when you did the rap in Judge Caprio's courtroom, somebody shot it and put, 'I'm going to, this lawyer's rapping, and I'm going to jail.'" I look it up. We had like 200,000 views in one day. Then it went to 600, 800, 1.3 million, 2.2 million, 3 million, 4 million. It hit 4.1 million views by Friday, and then it stopped trending. It probably gone up to like 4.2 since then, but in 1 week, we got 4.1 million views from this little clip video that this guy put of me rapping. It helped boost up the ratings on the show. It got my song a lot more recognition, and so this year they're playing it all over, and I'm proud of it. I wrote it about my family and our Italian experience and what it's like doing a little comedy, the great beats of my producers, the Ross brothers, and I've had a great group of musicians my entire career, so I'm proud with the way the song came out. It's been able to stay vibrant and relative 31 years of Christmas, 31 Christmases. So
wow.
If you want, I can give you a few bars, John, for the young audience.
Give us a few bars. Everybody would love to hear it. Sure.
Well, whether you're Italian or not, hold on. My new drink, by the way, Pink Whitney and Sprite. The kids turn me on to it. Pretty good. Barstool Sports. But I wrote this song basically I had to follow up I'm a Spacone, my first song, which hit like in the spring and summer And then my producer was like, dude, we need to follow this up. You're not going to be a one-hit wonder. So I'm like, all right. It was like August, sitting in the pool at my mother's house. And I'm like, man, I got to come up with a new record to follow up to Spacone. So I had written a song called Bikinis and Tortellinis, and that was going to drop in like late July. I actually should have had it out sooner, and it didn't hit as well as I thought it would. So I needed to really follow up with something strong. So I put myself in that mindset of Christmas Eve at my mother's house and how it is with the food and the 7 fishes. And I wrote the song, and the lyrics go pretty much the way I see it. You see, a paisan's home on Christmas Eve is something unique and not to be believed. We party at your grandma's, fulfilling a wish. She'll be kicking off the season with a table of fish. We're at the supermarket loading up the car. We got the squid, the schmelz, the bacala. Back at the house, they're getting in the groove. The women are all slaving. They're in bad moods, but only until the shrimp cocktail's here. Then all my goomba to share the Christmas cheer. Dinner lasts for hours, yo, it's getting late. I'm stuffed to the max, my usual trait. The conversation turns to the annual debate. Should we open our presents or should we wait? And Tommy DJ says, how do we open them if Santa hasn't been here yet? What are you stupid? Because we're rocking around the Christmas tree with Bobby Braciola and his family. It's an experience you will not believe because everyone's Italian on Christmas Eve. We were checking out bowl games upon the screen. I got 2-300 on New Orleans. The Fanuc and Espresso have affected my mind. The whole family's out cold before halftime. Up at 11, Wandy T, and after Napacura and a Zeppeli. The family's decked out with a picture of class as we stroll in together for midnight mass. After church, I break to round up my crew. All my paisans in the Posse Fazul. We're in the Christmas spirit, feeling pretty, Jewel. I check my watch. Yo, it's 1:45, so the house starts rocking at a different pace. Downstairs, we're jamming, turning up the bass. My brother seeks upstairs for a casual taste of a regatta cannoli and the zuppa and glaze, because we're rocking around the Christmas tree with Bobby Braciola and his family. Remember, listen up to Bobby B. Everyone's Italian on Christmas Eve, ain't it?
Awesome,
On the Dolly, baby.
Awesome, Terry. That's awesome, man. That's phenomenal, bro.
That was for you guys. Merry Christmas.
Wow, that was great. I know I heard about you way before I met you. I heard about Bobby Braciola, the Italian rapper, like in the 90s. I heard about you. I can't remember exactly when we met, but when we met, we became friendly right away. I mean, like, you're a cool guy. We just clicked, and we met, with Bobby, and we just.
Well, I met you when I was visiting a client in the joint.
Yeah, I met you in the prison when I worked at the prison.
Early 90s. I became an attorney in 85. It's 35 years this year. But Bobby Braciola was hitting in the late 80s into the early 90s. So I kind of was part-time lawyering and full-time rapping back then. But I started doing more and more in 92 and 93. And I was up at the prison more. And that's when I first met you. Then I found out afterwards that you were John Perrotta, the comedian. Because I knew another John Perrotta. I still do. Former Johnston police officer. Yeah. Now he's an attorney, assistant attorney general.
He's a distant cousin of mine. Yeah, he's like a distant.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So I deal with John Perrotta. We have a couple of cases right now. But then I found out that you, the CO that I had met, was the John Perrotta, the comedian. And since then, besides being your dear friend, I've really been a fan of your comedy. Like, I mean, there's certain comedians that I relate to that I always, I really like. I thought Dice was great when he first came out. I love Bill Burr. I love Sebastian Maniscalco. There's just certain, Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, certain guys that really get, inspire me. And you were in that league, in my opinion.
I'm not in that league.
John, your delivery and your ability to freestyle on your feet, it's like when a rapper goes and you're battling and right off the top of your head, you do something like, my name is Bobby B and I like to get down. Behind your left shoulder, there's a cloud, or is that a wave? It looks so fresh. And when it comes to rhyming on the mic, I'm the best. You cut things off the top of your head. You freestyle your comedy with people based on their answers to your questions. It's fucking brilliant, John.
Yeah, I'm not a good writer. I wrote jokes through the years. Some of them hit, but if I just couldn't. But I found when I worked the audience, went into the crowd, I got more laughs, bigger laughs. So I figured it out. I got to go that way. Like you found rap works for you. You got to find what works for you and work in the crowd. my material will get some laughs. My crowd work will get bigger.
No, your shtick is doing what. That's why I named. I was telling you the Italian Don Rickles, because if you ever saw Don in Atlantic City or Vegas, he would work the crowd the way you did. Just what do you do? What are you wearing? Who's this? Blah, blah, blah. But and it's just being able to think on your feet like that and go off what the people say. I mean, I know you have some stock answers and some stock jokes, but I've seen you with other jokes or people, the answers, there's no way you could have had a joke based on their answer, and you still fucking killed when it comes to delivering the punchline.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess a quick wit, think on my feet, like you said, freestyle or whatever you want to call it. I just gotta get that. I'm quick. I think that's what my best thing in comedy that I do is I'm quick.
John,
very quick thinker.
I'm sorry this pandemic, because your type of comedy really takes a hit. Like, you can't do your I mean, you probably could with a few people in a room or whatever, but I mean, you're so much more effective live than you come across, than you'd be in a show via Zoom. So not being able to go to a packed friggin' cocktail hour or room with people sitting down, drinking and eating, and you take the mic and slay the room, it's really taking a hit with the pandemic, and that makes me feel bad.
I mean, a lot of comedians are hurt, but my type of act is definitely hurt. I don't think it's going to come back till maybe later next year. We'll see. But I mean, my type of act, believe it or not, there's some guys love it, do crowd work, and some bookers like it, and some don't like it. I've had bookers tell me, because you work the crowd, I can't book you. And I've had other bookers that love that I work the crowd. So it's kind of weird in the business, it's a lot of politics, a lot of politics.
Well,
that always frustrated me,
I'm appreciative that I've been able to share the stage with you, I don't know, 30, 35 times and see your show, and it never, ever gets old to me. And John, just wait this out. I mean, the vaccine is finally here this week. Guys like us, I mean, we're both, 55 plus, a little overweight, you less so these days, God bless. But
right.
We should be in line for the vaccine, but they're going to give it to the online workers who deserve. I mean, the frontline workers who deserve it. They've shown their heroism, just like the firemen and the police did in 2001. I mean, we have so many people who have done heroic things, and they're going to get the vaccine first. By the time we get it, it will probably be in the spring or summer. So, I mean, we're going to have to just wait this out. And I know financially people are taking hits for it. Fortunately, you and I, we should be able to weather the storm. But, I mean, it hasn't been easy for anyone. And everyone's taking emotional hits. Just, the change of lifestyle.
The first 2 months, Bobby, it really threw me out of whack. I was doing 4, 5, 6 shows a week, and all of a sudden nothing. And I realized after a couple of weeks, in my head, I said, you're going to be done for the year. And I predicted to myself, this ain't going nowhere. Some people thought it was going to be like the flu going in a couple of weeks. I said, this is going to blow up. I felt it. Yeah. And unfortunately, I was right.
Yeah, and I'm glad you prepared yourself for it, because it would have really been a very serious blow if you were listening to the professionals who were saying, initially the president said it's going to blow away in April and everything. I mean, and I wish he was right, but he was so wrong. And, people relied on that. And I'm glad you at least psychologically prepared yourself for what we were in for, which was, I mean, we're still in it. The numbers are crazy this week. It's, I go to this thing Worldometer and I check the numbers. I mean, Rhode Island, 1,100 cases a day, 290,000 cases in the U.S. in one day, 1,700 deaths, 2,000 deaths, 3,000 deaths. We're up to 300,000 plus now. I mean, we're in the shit, and it didn't have to be this way, but we just have to prepare ourselves. We have to pull together. Wear a fucking mask, and try to keep your distance and try to stay positive and look out for each other. We're in this together. Whether you're red, blue, left, right,
Yeah.
you know, Republican, Democrat, black, white, old, young, gay, straight. It doesn't matter. We are all in this together. Like Madonna said, it's going to level the playing field. It's going to level the playing field. When she said it, everyone thought that was arrogant and ignorant. But in a basic way, she was right, because we're all, it's like being in a fucking snow day for 6 months. Everyone got buried by the same blizzard of snow. Everybody's gonna dig themselves out. Everyone has to do what they try to stay healthy and stay free from the sickness that comes with it. Because this fucking virus is a monster, dude. And
I mean, I lost two friends.
The fact that you can't perform is such a sin. It really is. The fact that people can't do their jobs, the businesses are closing. 150,000 restaurants closing in this country. People put not only their money, but their heart and souls. And like, when you make a restaurant, that's something deep inside you, wanting to feed people and put the food that you want to put out there and the style that you want to serve it and everything. These people put their whole lives to it, and this thing is just blown it away.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I said I lost two people I knew the last week. A friend, Pamela, I was great friends with her in the 70s, 80s, and I heard she passed away, 61 years old. And Russ from the prison.
Fallen out of touch with her or something? You hadn't seen her for a while?
Yeah, we lost touch for a while, and I didn't realize it. And I found out she passed from COVID, you know. And also Russ at the prison. God bless both of them, you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was a great guy. Worked for him occasionally, you know. And
he and his wife, really nice people. I knew them from up at the joint too, visiting people and seeing them. And he was just a really good-natured, warm person. I mean, I tell you, it's so sad. I have 13 friends that have lost family members. You know, my assistant Bobby, his sister-in-law Dawn's sister, passed away. She was in her 50s.
Yeah.
My friend Bobby Hannah and my friend Chris, both of them lost their dads. I lost my aunt. She was 103, but she was in unbelievable shape. She drove until she was like 95. She only had a hearing problem. She was a marvel, I'm telling you. She had a caretaker who say, your aunt is in better health than most 50-year-olds I know. And she was 103. She got COVID 2 weeks, game over.
Wow. Yeah,
so sad, man.
Anybody that thinks this is a joke or a hoax, I mean, I knew from the beginning it wasn't. Once it really, at first I was like skeptical, but once I seen it get rolling, I said, this is no joke. You know, I figured that out pretty early on.
Yep.
But a lot of people, they think it's a hoax or a joke, or they put politics into it. They don't want to wear masks. I think that's all crazy. I mean, I know you got your own choice.
That's not a political thing. This is a health and safety thing.
It's health and
safety.
It's
not a political thing. Like,
yeah, they made it a political thing. But they made it a political thing.
I know.
You know what I mean? They shouldn't have. It
shouldn't be. Wear a fucking mask. Keep your distance. Take the vaccine. If Dr. Fauci takes it, I'm taking it. My kid's taking it. My wife's taking it. My mother and brother and sister are taking it. If Dr. Fauci says take it, I'll take it. You know, and everybody should, because if we're going to rely on human compliance and obedience, we're going to be wearing masks for fucking another 10 years. So, you know, we got to do what's right. Look out for each other. If the vaccine looks like it's going to be the healthy alternative, and Dr. Fauci and the CDC recommends it, take the vaccine. But in the meantime, wear a mask, keep your distance, and then hopefully we can get John and I back on stage. You know,
I know, right?
We're doing Zoom calls from home.
Yeah, the other song, I love all your songs. The Chooch, the Gooch. A lot of times I just bring it up on my YouTube and watch it. That video that you made. What went into making that video? I think you told me it took quite a while to make that.
John, Chooch to Gooch was a labor of love. You know, I've been doing that little stint, and when I did some of my comedy acts, I would just put on a disco song and then shout out the different dance moves. And I was like, you know what? Well, my wife works for Cruise Brothers, and so we've done a few cruises. I performed on cruises, and you know, I like the way of vacationing on a cruise. So we went on a couple, and the line dances are what really got people jamming. You know, you had Electric Slide, Cotton Eye Joe, Cupid Shuffle, cha-cha slide, all these, you know, the line dances, and I was like, I got to do something to come up with a line song. So I had the routine where I did all the moves, and I just put them together into a song. Met and hooked up with my law partner, the late great Ben Mesiti.
Ben was a great guy.
He
great
was.
guy.
He was my law partner.
I was fortunate.
And
I met him.
Co-producer.
Yeah, I met him and got to know him for a while there, and he was a good guy. Really
he's
great
the
guy.
Best. He's the best. He came up with the beat. He and I worked together, produced it, put together a great crew. David Betancourt directed it. I borrowed, begged, and stole from every friend I had for their time, their car, their venues, and we put it together. And you know, we dropped it on St. Joseph's Day, 2010, and it got picked up by Funny or Die, Will Ferrell's website, comedy website. So that gave an additional jump in the arm of like 10,000 views. And then we, you know, my record company got the video. They liked it. They signed Chooch to Gooch. They signed Everyone's Italian on Christmas Eve, and we were off and running. And from that 10,000 views from Funny or Die, we went on this other TV show, and we actually got a thumbs down on the song, but we got like 25,000 positive views on YouTube, and then it took off. And you know, now we have over 220,000 views. We've had tons of downloads. It's been a real blessing, and I got to perform it a lot. And it's the only line dance song that people can do sitting down. You can literally do it in a wheelchair, and I've done it on cruise ships. I've done it at a lot of shows, people's weddings, and you know, I appreciate you saying that.
I love all your songs. When I used to do that one, and the videos, that was so. The whole thing was great, start to finish. I go watch that all the time, man.
Yeah, it's called Chooch to Gooch, the 10 Steps of Disco Dancing. You can see it on YouTube, and you can, you know, do the steps. Just grab the apples off the tree, reel in the tuna, ride the waves of Scarborough, reactivate your gel, fire your back up with a towel, wax on, wax off, crush the grapes, fire your weapons like Al Capone, anoint your partner with your sweat, do the spin out. And that's what House Rocking's all about, ain't it?
How did you come up with that song, man? I could never put something like that together, man.
Thanks, John. It was just a collaborative effort of myself, Ben, my wife, my director, my producers. I had great musicians around me, the Ross brothers, Howard Jones, Vinny Lato on saxophone. Vinny Vento played guitar on a couple of my songs. I had the late great Vinny Vento, the late great Ben Mesiti, two true music legends, you know, who got to play on the song. And Ben's father did some, and my sister did background vocals. We were doing "How you been? How you been?" I had to, you know, I had to fill the room with people's voices, and only like 12 people showed up. So we multiplied it like 300 times, so it's more like 3,600 people. But two of the voices were Ben's dad and my sister Cheryl. And a shout out to my sister. She's not coming home this year from California. She lives in LA. She's in the music business, and she's working with Peter Gabriel and Mickey Hart. And she owns a Wild Child Full of Grace promotions in Los Angeles. And I love you, cool. She's not coming home this Christmas because of the situation, the COVID, and it broke my mother's heart. I know my sister's heart is broken, but I love you, and you're always there in spirit. She's been there for 67 servings of the squid, the schmelz, the bacalao at my mother's house. So this year, she's probably gonna have to make it herself out in Los Angeles.
Yeah. My son usually comes home. He's not coming home this year either because of the pandemic, you know, and it's too risky, you know. The airports, the flying is too risky.
Where is he now, John?
He lives in Mexico City.
Oh, in Mexico, that's right.
He traveled all over, and he liked it there, and he met a nice girl there, and
yeah, I saw the pictures. His wife's beautiful. I mean,
yeah, not yet. It's girl, but maybe they'll get married. But yeah, he's doing well.
They're together though, right?
He wrote. I think I told you that he wrote 3 books, and one of them, Conversation Casanova, became a bestseller, and it sold like 50,000 copies. He's doing really well.
Conversation Casanova?
It's about how to meet girls, how to talk to girls, how to meet girls, for guys in their 20s, 30s. And it became, he put it out on Amazon, and it became #1 in men's health on Amazon, and it blew up. It's in Poland now, in Spain.
Really had a rap with chicks?
Yeah, he got it. Yeah, and now he's writing his 4th book. He's got like 50,000 words written. He's got a little more to go. He's gonna have 4 books. Yeah, he's doing phenomenal. You know,
look,
and my daughter's doing great too. I'm lucky. I got 2 great kids. My daughter just got a Australian Shepherd Terrier, he's so cute, little puppy. I go over there, hang with him.
I saw that, your grandpup.
Yeah, I forget everything going crazy in the world. When I'm at Winston, the Australian Shepherd, I forget everything. I don't even think about it.
Well, that's what you should be doing then, because right now we can't help what's going on in the world. We can only keep our immediate world as safe as possible and as enjoyable as possible, and find enjoyment where you can. You know, the little victories in life right now, you have to stop and appreciate what we have and not worry about what we don't have right now, because we still have so much. If we have family and we have friends and we have pets and we have love in our homes, love in our hearts, you know, we can get through this fucking pandemic. And
yeah, we'll get through it. The thing that drives me crazy the most, Bobby, I get you might want to say OCD or ADD with the comedy. I was very organized. So when November would come, I would be at the Asia Grill, Lincoln Mall. I'd already have the 4 dates for next year. We put it on a calendar. I was done. And I was doing Lemongrass. I do the December show. I got all the dates for next year. My comedy class, Rockin' Joe and I and Colleen Galvin, we'd have the whole book for the class and the graduation show. So when January
came, you got the Prince of Mystery in there too.
Yeah, oh yeah. But when January came to
Colleen's great too.
Yeah, oh yeah. I had everything set for the year, and then I'd add other stuff, but I was very organized. And like now I can't play. It drives me nuts, but you cannot plan anything. We have no idea when it's gonna come back. It's crazy, you know.
John, why is it that every place you have has great food? I mean, I know you're a paisan and you like to eat like I do, but I mean, we did our shows at Spiritos, and the food there was nice, you know. I mean,
phenomenal.
And it's too bad they closed, because that was a great venue for us in the Comedy Factory.
Yeah, I was heartbroken for the Spirito family, all that family.
Nice too.
Lemongrass is really good. Yeah, I want to get you back. I can't wait to, if I can book stuff and organize stuff. And people don't realize when you book stuff, there's a lot that goes into it. You got to book the show, who you want to get. You gotta get your guy to make the flyer. You gotta pick him up at the print store. You gotta go in the place. You gotta promote the show, Facebook advertising. There's a lot goes in. So if I got a show, I need 2 months to push a show, Bobby. So I gotta have 2 months. Everything's gotta be made in the place. We promote for 2 months, and that's how we get a good crowd. And right now, I can't plan. I can't promote. I can't book. I can't do it. It's crazy.
John, you get the vaccine on April 15th. You book a show for the 4th of July. You figure that, 2 or 3 months after you get the vaccine. And then listen, if you have to kick it to September, we'll find an occasion. It'll be 4th of July or Halloween or Thanksgiving, or let's hope maybe even St. Patrick's Day or St. Joseph's Day. We'll just keep trying to do it. But when the time's right, you'll be ready to do your thing, and I will be ready to rock the house.
I'm going to get you first show. I want to have you and Rockin' Joe and Prince of Mystery. There's so many friends in the business I have. Can't put them all in one show. We'd be there for 4 days. But I mean, I want to get you guys. Would be a great way to come back. You know what I mean? I can't wait.
You had that last show we did. The comedian from Connecticut. He was superb.
Scott Higgins.
Yeah, sorry, Scott Higgins. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, we had Rhonda Corey was on that night. Scott Higgins. Was Murray there too?
Murray was there. Oh, Mike Murray. I mean,
Mike Murray.
I mean, listen, we put together those 6 or 7 or 8 comedians we just mentioned right there. We got a Showtime. We got a Comedy Central show. I mean,
we had some good shows, I gotta say.
Yeah, we need to do. You know what? The next time because who knows what's going to happen? We need to capsulize this and capsulize our show on video and document it, because I mean we have little you know, little pieces of video here and there, and obviously, you know, my stuff on YouTube. But I mean, we need to really get a videographer, good photographer to come and shoot one of our Comedy Factory shows with all of us doing our thing, edited down to a solid hour. It would be fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got some great acts we put in there. You know?
And as we're running the credits, and then they think it's going to end, then we cut to the Prince of Mystery and have him end it with some crazy.
He's crazy,
at
right?
the very end, and then go to darkness and it's Comedy Factory logo. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, if anybody hasn't seen the Prince of Mystery, Skip Daniels. He's a treat to watch.
He really is. Oh my!
Yeah, he's
very different, you know. And I love those guys. They're good guys. There's no attitude. We're like a team in the Comedy Factory, and everybody has their own job. Like, we don't really compete because we all have our own styles. It's not a competition. It's just kind of like, you know, Rondo's doing his thing, KG's doing his thing, Paul Pierce is doing his thing. Now we got Tatum, we got Jaylen Brown, we have Tristan Thompson. We go on the court, we go on our stage, and everybody just does their job.
Yes, I always like a variety show. When I book the show for the comedy, I said, let me. I think in my head, who do I try to book guys I like and guys that are great performers. I think of Bobby Braciola and Rockin' Joe, the Prince of Mystery goes on. So many guys that are so great, and I put together a show. You got some magic, you got some rap, you got some crowd work, you got Rockin' Joe doing some songs.
The only thing about everything. This fucking guy right here is he's like triple booked on a Friday night. So he'll pop in either the show will be a 7 to 11. John will be there at 7 o'clock, and then like 8:12, he's gone like Prince, purple smoke, and he's gone. Or he'll call you up. Listen, you're going on at 8:40, so I'll go there. I like to see the crowd. I don't mind getting there and show my face. So I'll get there at 8 o'clock, knowing I'm going on at 8:40, and I'm looking around. John's nowhere. He's done his purple smoke routine. He's already gone. And the show goes on till like 11. And then about 10:32, you look over at the bar, and there's John having a Coca-Cola at the bar. We're just watching things. Like, he just was able to slide out, do a gig in like New Bedford, come back, maybe do a bachelor party at the Marriott, and make it back to the show about a half hour before.
I used to like to do 2, 3, 4 shows a night if it happened. Not all the time.
Guys, he does 3 or 4 shows a night.
Not all the time, but there were days.
Chappelle, even Vic DiPatetto, and those guys, they're not doing 3 shows a night. This guy, I'm telling you, he's got his own show running the Comedy Factory with 6 or 8 of us comedians, performers, ready to go, and he's in fucking like Fall River doing a fucking bachelor party.
It's nuts, right? It's nuts. That's what I did, Bobby. My record back in the 90s. I booked 8 shows in one day. I was in 5 of them. I started at 2 in the afternoon at some backyard cookout, and it ended at night. I'm a good organizer. I had comedians going all over the place, and I put it together. 8 shows in one. That's my record. I never booked more than that. That's crazy. That's how busy it was back in the day. I don't expect it to get like that, for who knows how long, but it was a lot of fun,
Yeah, if you have the energy and the stamina to do it, the demand is going to be there because, you haven't been performing, but people haven't been able to see you perform. So there's people jonesing for the shows. It's going to be a while, even after this thing finally goes away, which I hope it will in the near future. And we're getting there. I mean, right now, they said it was going to be a dark winter, and we had to prepare for that. I mean, even Donald Trump said that, and President Biden now has said that he it's going to be a dark winter. But I mean, they're trying to address it, and I think it's going to get better. The vaccine's out, but it's going to take a while for people, even once the cloud clears, for people in their heads to get back into going to social crowded events again.
Yeah, it's not gonna blow up overnight. It's gonna take time.
It's gonna take a while, but we will get there because people love to laugh. People love entertainment. People live for it, and there aren't too many people who do what we do at the level that we do it. So hopefully there'll always be room for us and for people who want to see and laugh along with us.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't even imagine how excited I'd be. And when night comes and we got a show and, even whatever people we have out there, and we'll have a
You're
blast.
gonna probably have butterflies like the old days because it's been a while. When you get, that you don't lose your confidence, but it's been a while since you've been out there, and that not stage fright, but just that anxiety that you can get.
Nervous energy, anxiety.
When you do 10 shows in 2 weeks, you know what the fuck you're doing. You're gonna go out there and slay because you're just in your groove and I'm the same way. When it's been a while, you're like, shit, do I still have it? Are they still ready for me? Am I still viable? And you get those little butterflies, but they go away as soon as you get your first laugh or your first hand clap.
Yeah. What about I was like, you met Elton John. How was that? I love Elton John. Tell us about that when you met Elton John.
Another thing with the pandemic is you get, you spend a lot more time on your phone watching. So I've been watching these Elton John concerts and they're not like uniform. There'll be like one song doing Saturday Nights Are Right for Fighting in Dublin in '92, and then you skip forward to like another show in 2003 with a whole different band, and then 2012. And so I've been watching a lot of. Elton is so great, and to have the opportunity to meet him by happenstance, John, I've always had a knack for being in the right place, the right time when it comes to people. Plus, if I see somebody who I know, I will try to approach them and say something witty and talk to them just because you probably will never have that chance again. What can they do? They can either walk away and say, fucking creeper, or they're going to engage you. And if you say something funny or witty or something that not everyone says to them, you're going to get a reaction. You're going to at least get a pound, a handshake, or whatever. So because of that, I've met Stevie Wonder, Billy Joel, Elton John, Sly Stallone, LL Cool J, Will Smith, Dolly Parton.
You met Dolly Parton? I love Dolly Parton.
Oh, she's so sweet. So
where did you?
And those are A-listers. Come on, Stevie Wonder, Billy Joel, Elton John, Luther Vandross. I kissed Luther Vandross's ring. Thank God, because at the time my sister worked in Kansas City. She was working for this New West presentations. Then they were promoting shows at Kemper Arena, concerts, and all kinds of tractor pulls and crazy shit. I do it in Missouri. But they were doing Luther Vandross, and my sister knows I'm a huge Luther fan, so she got me front row. I have tickets. It was Thin Luther at the time, and I've seen him 8 or 9 times, but this one time I was in the front row right there, and then I knew I was going backstage. But you go backstage, you might be able to have a sandwich backstage, but you're not going to usually meet anybody because by the time you get backstage, Elvis has left the fucking building,
Yeah.
We went back there. My sister introduced me to the caterer who does all the back, and all of a sudden I hear them back swinging, yeah. And Luther comes out of his dressing room with this beautiful cashmere coat. He's leading the thing, and his singers are all behind him, and he's like, no more music like this. And I was like, my heart's like, boom, boom. So I go up to him, I said, Luther, I'm a huge fan. I'm an attorney and an entertainer from back east, but man, I named my bird after you. I've had a bird, white cockatiel named Luther. And I said, it's a pleasure meeting you. And he's like, nice meeting you too. And he was so friendly, but he was like, kind of like giving it to his band because they just finished performing. They're going out, leaving, and they're still singing. Like, he's like, don't you fucking people get enough? So he was like this. So I said, hey, let me kiss your ring. He goes, no, you don't want to kiss my ring. I got Afro sheen all over my hair. And I was like, don't worry about it. I need to reactivate my gel anyway, which became one of the lines in my Chooch to Gooch song, reactivate your gel. I actually said that to Luther. I said, I need to reactivate my gel anyway. And I kissed his ring. And I was like, there's one off my bucket list.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Elton John, I met him at the Walden Woods concert at Schaefer Stadium, or it wasn't Gillette then. I think that was Schaefer Stadium. And he had performed up there. Run DMC played with Aerosmith. Don Henley was running the show. It was the Walden Woods show. Elton John did his thing, and then they went to the celebrity tent. And, I was Bobby Braciola, and I was friends with a friend of mine, Ronnie Riley, who was a big fundraiser for cystic fibrosis. He got us really great seats in this VIP tent, but it was a VIP tent that charged. So I went there with my friend Ronnie's daughter and her friend into the VIP tent. And there's a little blonde guy in front of me, and he steps up and he orders a beer or a pint or whatever it was, and he didn't have any money on him. I look, it's fucking Elton John, dude. But he had just come off stage, so he doesn't have his wallet or anything, you know. I think he still had a towel on his neck. So I look, and I said to this girl, like a young guy, "Are you out of your? It's Elton John. Give him a beer." I got it. So I bought him the beer. I bought a drink for the two of them, and because I bought him a beer, I think he felt obligated to not just walk away. So he waited while I got my drink, and I was like, "It's really nice to meet you." And I told him I had written a song about Madonna. At the time, it was called "You're Over the Edge," but eventually it came out. It was called "Madonna You Butana" because the record company thought it was funnier. But it was called "Over the Edge." So I told him I wrote a song about Madonna. We just recorded called "Over the Edge." He goes, "I partied with her a lot. Believe me, she's way over the edge."
You said that?
That's what he said. Yeah, he was really cool. He was very gracious. And then I went to introduce him to the two girls who didn't realize, like, they were 14. I don't think they realized that the little blonde guy who I just bought the beer from was that crazy guy jumping up on the stage of the piano like 15, 20 minutes before that. So I said, "Guys, this is Elton John. Elton, this is Melissa and Cynthia, whatever the other girl." And they were both like, "Ha, ha, ha, they couldn't even say it. And it was fun. He goes, "I get that all the time." I go, "By the way," I said, "Man, you turned it out. You rocked." He goes, "I'm getting too old for this shit." I go, "Are you kidding me? They fucking loved you, dude." And he gave me a pound, and they walked on, and that was it. But I mean, it was like, wow, there's one off my bucket list, man.
How many people have met Elton John and Luther Vandross? And now what about Dolly Parton? How did you meet her?
Dolly Parton, I met her at Madame Wu's Chinese restaurant in Los Angeles. I was there with my friend Rich de Blasio. We went on a 5-week tour of California between college and law school. We went from San Diego all the way to Sausalito, San Francisco, LA with my sister, my other friend Ron de Blasio. He was a manager for Sister Sledge. Because of him, I met Sister Sledge, which was
cool.
We went to Madame Wu's Chinese restaurant, and we're sitting down, and all of a sudden I see Dolly Parton and a woman behind her with brown hair but the same face. Turned out it was like her sister Sheila or whatever. So she came walking right by us, and I was like, "Hi, Dolly." And she goes, "Hi, boys." And I was like, "What are you doing here?" She goes, "I'm a big fan of Chinese food." I said, "Obviously, we are too." She goes, "This is my sister." And she looked just like and just as pretty. I think maybe younger. So it's a very similar look to Dolly. Didn't have the huge boobs, but very pretty face, brown hair. Oh, so super nice. She was like, "Hi, boys." Both of them had that country, that real sincere way of dealing with people, and they were very nice,
That's cool.
Stevie Wonder and Billy Joel I met on the same day. Stevie Wonder was playing in Providence on Friday night, and Billy Joel was doing 2 shows. I think he was doing Saturday and Monday, or it was either Stevie Wonder was Thursday, and Billy was playing Friday and Sunday. He was doing 2 days, but they were giving the key to the city to Stevie Wonder. And I was going to the show, and my friend's girlfriend worked in the mayor's office and told they were going to have a meet and greet with Stevie Wonder afterwards. So, and she knew I was like a huge music fan and into R&B. So she invited me to go, and I was like, of course. So I was there early. I wanted to see him get the key to the city. I knew that it was going to be like a half hour before we went up to the mayor's office for the pictures. So I went out and I'm, it's packed, and they're doing all the accolades and talking about Stevie Wonder, and Stevie's up there and he's happy. I mean, he was so proud to be getting the key to the city, because this was a while back, and it's like, that's not only being a fan, it's also showing respect that you mean so much that the mayor's giving you the key to the city. So they gave it to him. So I'm in the audience, and I look over, and like 15 feet away from me, I'm like, that guy is a dead ringer for Billy Joel. Now, I didn't know Billy Joel was playing in town that night. I was going to see Stevie, and I like Billy Joel, but I just, I'm not that big a fan that I followed his concert tour. So I didn't even know, and I was like, what the fuck is Billy Joel doing here? And if he's here, why is he in the audience? He should be up there with the mayor and Stevie. So I kind of weaseled my way over to him, and I'm like, Billy, how you doing? He goes, hey, good, man. Hey, don't pull my cover. I said, don't worry about it. I said, what are you doing here? He goes, I'm playing here this weekend. He goes, I play here every year. They never gave me the key to this fucking city. And I was like, and I pulled out the old Stevie Eddie Murphy line. I go, yeah, but you can drive a car. And he started laughing. He gave me a pound. And I was like, it's really nice meeting you. And he goes, yeah, I'm playing here tomorrow night. And I was like, break a leg. And he was really cool. And I think he really appreciated the fact that they didn't book, because he was wearing like a lumberjack shirt and jeans, and he was definitely not like game ready. So people, and he's not that tall. He's small. Elton John's really small. Billy Joel's not much taller. And then 5 minutes away, I'm walking towards the door to go up to get the pictures with Stevie Wonder, and I hear some girl, oh my God, it's Billy Joel! And the fucking bouncers came in and they whisked him away and everything. I was like, I'm glad I got that little minute and a half with him. And then sure enough, 10 minutes later, I'm in the mayor's office shaking hands with Stevie Wonder, and I had like,
you've had an incredible life.
Stevie, this is Bobby Braciola. He's a local entertainer. He's a rapper and everything. And Steve was like, really? And I said, yeah. He goes, they go, yeah, comedian. He goes, yeah, tell me a joke. And when someone tell you a joke, it's like, all right, so I hit him with, the most obvious joke ever. I was taking a picture and I said, how do you know when a woman's having an orgasm? And he goes, I don't know. I go, who cares? And his picture, he's like this. Like, both of us were cracking up in the picture, and it was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I went home that night, and I was like, dude, you met Billy Joel and Stevie Wonder in the same hour today. I mean, what are the fucking chances of that? I mean, two A-listers, and I was just it was just a great experience. It was two more off my bucket list right there.
Jesus, Bobby.
Kevin Garnett, let me show you how much I love Kevin Garnett. Can you see him
he was
on the
great.
wall back? Can you see him on the wall back there?
A little bit. I can see a Celtic jersey.
Yeah, that's Kevin Garnett taking a shot on my wall. He's, to me, the greatest of all time, because I've never seen a more intense player in my life.
Yeah.
And my wife got his tickets when he left. We went to see him play when he played for the Celtics, but when he came back, he got traded to Brooklyn. She got me tickets. I started wearing Brooklyn gear because KG's my boy, man. I love the Celtics because of him. But I still had to represent. But I was wearing all Celtics gear the night my wife got us these Spacone tickets which allowed us to get there early. TJ got to go and play on the court. He met Darren Williams. He met a bunch of guys on the Brooklyn Nets. That's were really nice. He was dribbling the ball with them and stuff. It was great for me. I went and stood in the on the alley with the runway where the players come out. Now they came out. They did the shooting. The pre-game shooting. Garnett didn't come out. He had been there once. They had played them once earlier in the season. And I had tickets. He didn't even fucking make the trip. It was too emotional for him to come back to Boston, so he didn't make the trip. But the second time he came back, and I stood for my son's out there playing with Darren Williams. I stood on the maybe the fifth step, so I was up about 7 feet. In case Garnett was there, I wanted to at least see him. I make eye contact with him. It's like my one chance. But I wasn't even sure he had made the trip. Sure enough, they do the shootout. He's not there. The team comes out. It's not him. And then all of a sudden, I see him come around the corner with Brook Lopez, who's another 7-footer right behind him. And they come in, and about time to take the floor for the national anthem. Don't you know, Garnett comes right in front of me. His head is like right here. So, and he sees me with all Celtics gear, and like, so he probably thinks I'm gonna dog him or something, right? I get right in his ear, and he almost backs up a little bit, and I go, dude, you still own this fucking building. And his eyes filled up, and Brook Lopez rubbed his shoulders, like, because he was already emotional coming back, and having me tell him just before he took the court, homeboy, let me tell you something, brother, you still own this fucking building. And it was like,
Wow, that's wild.
That was another one. Like for me, that was like meeting Elton John. To be able to talk to KG and get in his ear like that, it meant so much.
Bobby, you could write a book. You got the rap songs. You could write a book on all the stars you met, the famous people. That's great. You meet Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder in an hour. That's crazy, man.
Isn't it nuts? I mean, it really was, John. I mean, it was
Elton John a beer. I mean, come on, who does that? Who does that?
I know. It was crazy. I met Mr. Tomei in Florida. She was super nice, you know, for my cousin Vinny.
Cousin Vinny.
And I told her, being a lawyer and also being Bobby Braciola, she goes, "You're like a living my cousin Vinny." I said, "Yeah, I am." And she was so sweet and super nice too. And you know, I mean, to me, those are just blessings. One, being in the business and being able to meet people like that, or sometimes just having the cooliones to actually go up and talk to people when they're not used to having people approach them, or they're usually kept apart. I just happen to be in the right place in the right time.
Yeah, you said you got a knack for doing that, and you do, because that's unbelievable, you know.
Will Smith, I met him when we did the Def Jam tour. So we got to be like, in the same show, and that meant a lot to me. And Will Smith was the best. Super nice, super sweet guy. Took a couple of my CDs to his record company to say, "Hey, this guy's really different. He's not like some white dude rapper. This guy's a paisan. He spits paisan lyrics." Like, he really took to my character, and I loved him for that. Will Smith is aces. Super guy.
Wow.
LL Cool J came to one of my shows. I did the show at the new Ritz in New York for this drug free for WBLS. They were playing my record. Atlantic was thinking about signing I'm A Spacone, so we got to do the show at the new Ritz. And I'm up there. I'm doing, I don't talk too much. I'm no on. I know how to dance. I ain't a strombolone. I got tons of class. I'm no Carvone. My name is Bobby Braciola, and I'm a big Spacone. And I look out, and sure enough, in a black mink baseball jacket and a red Kangol, fucking LL Cool J sitting in the front row, and he's giving me props like this. I'm like, am I dreaming? I'm on stage. LL Cool J's down there cheering me on. And then afterwards, we did a meet and greet, and I took and LL, every picture he took with everybody, he was like this. With me, we were busting balls the whole fucking time we went up there. So the picture, we're both throwing mohawks. The two of us are like this, with our tongues out. And I was like, wow, that was really cool. Getting a picture with LL Cool J after he came to see me perform. That was like one of those things that was a real blessing. And
you've had an amazing career and an amazing life, Bobby. Well, yeah, a lot of unbelievable things happen, really. I don't know many people that can say they've had the hit songs and met all these famous people. Your life is definitely interesting and different from a lot of other people.
You got to get out too. Like my friend Ralph Madonna, he's Ralph from Cranston. He does all the call-ins on the radio show. We differ sometimes on sports, but for the most part, he's very knowledgeable. We talk a lot. He's a call-in person. Politically, he was more of a Trumpster, and I was more like, Don the Khan's got to go. It's like, hey, January 20th, let's go. Less tweeting, more packing. Get out of here. But Joe was, Ralph used to, go to these. He has a lot of memorabilia, and he goes to those shows. And then we went to this place, the Heritage Night, I believe it was, at Boston Garden, and it's where they pay tribute to certain legends. And that night was like $150 for this great dinner on the floor of the Garden, and then a cocktail party afterwards, where in a matter of an hour, I literally met Bobby Orr, Ken Hodge, Bill Russell, Nancy Kerrigan, Kurt Schilling, Bill Belichick, Troy Brown. They were all, it was crazy because that night Troy Brown was getting some Lifetime Achievement Award. Kurt Schilling's doctor was who sutured him up when he had the bloody sock. He was getting an award that night, and it was being presented to him by Kurt Schilling. And Troy Brown's award was being presented by Bill Belichick. And John Havlicek was giving the award to Bill Russell and Casey Jones. And Sam Jones. So in one night, it was like a couple of hours. I met John Havlicek, Bill Russell, Casey Jones, Nancy Kerrigan, Bill Belichick, Troy Brown. It was fucking crazy. Johnny Pesky.
I love Johnny Pesky.
Johnny Pesky, man. It was.
Red Sox.
He was like 80 something at the time, but so nice.
He was a legend. He was a legend. What a great guy.
Legends. Havlicek, Russell, those got Ken Hodge. It was an amazing night. That was another night when I was like, wow, this is such a blessing to be in a position to just go up and meet these people and tell them how much they meant to your life. I mean, growing up, listening to Elton's music and watching Bobby Orr and Bill Russell play and, Kurt Schilling with the bloody sock. And I mean, it was really nice to be able to meet those people and tell them how much they meant to me.
In 95, I went to a 20-year anniversary dinner for the Red Sox team of 75 with my cousin, Dave DiLorenzo. God bless rest his soul.
Dave DiLorenzo, another legendary comedian.
Great comic, great guy. It's a shame he passed.
He was like Henny Youngman, man. You guys out there, that old style comedian, but I loved his delivery. I did several shows with Dave. God bless his soul. Very good. Yeah. His wife carries his spirit on. She's always.
Oh yeah. Mary. Yeah.
Oh, they included my T-shirt. Everyone's Italian at Christmas Eve on that favorite T-shirt quilt that they made. She made a quilt of all of Dave's favorite T-shirts, and one of them was Everyone's Italian on Christmas Eve down in the bottom left corner. That made me, I was so emotional. The fact that it was one of his favorite shirts and that his wife included it in that tribute quilt to him, that meant the world to me.
We had a great time. I hung out with him that night. I met Bill Lee. Funny, that guy could be a comedian. He got up and gave a speech.
Rocket Man.
He blew the room away. He had everybody dying laughing. I went up and talked to him right here. I met Carlton Fisk. I was talking to him about his home run.
That's right, 75. That's when he hit the famous.
Yeah, Louis Tiant. Rico Petroselli was telling me that Louis Tiant belongs in the Hall. Here I am talking to all my favorite Red Sox players.
Does belong in the Hall of Fame. He's a really good friend.
Louis Tiant was a legend. He's a legend.
I mean, Louis is a great guy. Ralph's very good friends with him and his son, and Louis is such a philanthropist. He gives so much of himself to people. He's a great dude. But
I love Louis Tiant.
That 75 team was unbelievable.
Yeah, he had that delivery where he turned and went way over and he just smoked everybody.
Yeah, he was great delivery. Now,
one of my favorite players.
Who else was on that team? Was that Dwight
Evans? Bernie Cobble was there.
Dwight Evans.
I'm not sure if Dwight Evans was there. I can't remember. I remember Rice. Bernie Cobble, Jim Rice. I think he was there.
Freddie Lynn.
Yeah, not all of them came. There was about 8 or 10 of them.
No, but they were all on that 75.
They were all on that 75 team.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a team. They should have won that. That bothers me to this day. The 9th inning, 7th game of the World Series. I think they was tied. They bring in Jim Burton, who was a rookie pitcher. The manager was, I know if it was Darryl Johnson.
Darryl Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, he brings in a rookie pitcher. It's the 9th inning of a tie game, 7th inning of the World Series, 9th inning, and he brings in a rookie pitcher, and he immediately gives up the run, and they lose the World Series. And nobody ever said that about Darryl Johnson. I always thought, of all the things I said, that was one of the most bonehead moves. They had to have somebody in the bullpen.
I didn't realize that team lost in the 7th game of the World Series.
Yeah.
Wow. And they didn't get back to World Series till 86, and that's when Bill Buckner, the ball went through his legs. And then 2004 with Manny Ramirez and Big Papi and Millar and all those guys. Pedro, everything changed.
Yeah. I was a big Red Sox fan.
We got 04, 07, 13, and 18, right? Four rings.
I think so, yeah. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. After not having one for 86 years or whatever it was, that was pretty good. Bobby, you got a little rap you want to end with here? Something you can do quick freestyle. What do you got? Bobby Braciola? We're gonna put you on the spot.
A new rhyme? You know I gotta lay a rhyme for Johnny Perrotta. The Perrotta when I rock the mic on Christmas Day. It's Christmas Eve and you gotta believe. So listen everybody, as I got on my sleeve, a brand new rhyme that I just wrote. Listen everybody, cause I like to tell a joke, but no one tells a joke like my boy John P. We rock the mic so viciously. We're all both part of the Comedy Factory, and we're gonna wish you a Merry Christmas Eve for Bobby B. Listen everybody, as I rock the MIC, listen, you gotta love it. You gotta stay positive. You gotta believe. And remember, everyone's Italian on Christmas Eve.
That's awesome. I know. Let me put him on the spot. I know he'll come up with something.
Not the best freestyle ever, but a little something.
That was good. Guys. Bobby Braciola, you're a dear friend of mine. I can't wait to work with you again. I miss you in person. I haven't seen you now in quite a while. Probably since one of the last times we were on stage. I haven't seen you. I haven't seen a lot of my friends. I love you. I love your act. You're a great guy. You got a great heart. Your family's great. Rhonda, TJ. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Your mom, your sister. You guys are great people. I've known you a long time, and you're one of the best. You're aces. You know.
John, Bon Natale to you and your family too, man. And we'll get through this crisis. And you need me to come on anytime you want to get hyped up. I'm more than willing to do it, John.
I'll have you. This is the second time you've been on. We'll have you. Thanks. We'll have you back on again because I anticipate doing this until we can get back on stage. You know, this is helping to keep me sane, Bobby, and the comedians. You know, it's helping to keep us sane. You know, you were awesome, man. You're a great guest. Thanks for coming on, man. Let's hope for a better New Year in 2021, brother.
Certainly. God bless everybody. Bon Natale.